It is December 16, 1944. The war is almost over. Everyone knows it. Then, out of the fog and snow of the Ardennes forest, 250,000 German soldiers attack. Nobody saw it coming. Germany's last offensive created a bulge 50 miles deep but was crushed within 6 weeks. This is the Battle of the Bulge. December 1944 to January 1945. Ardennes Forest, Belgium and Luxembourg. A battle is about to begin that will change the course of the war. On one side, Allied forces, US, UK, Belgium. Commanded by General Eisenhower. Against them, Nazi Germany. Led by Adolf Hitler. Both sides know what is at stake. To understand this battle, we need context. In the freezing winter of 1944, Hitler launched his last desperate gamble through the Ardennes forest. The surprise attack created a massive bulge in the Allied lines and nearly split the Allied armies in two. Allied forces, US, UK, Belgium, had assembled a powerful force. Initially 83,000 US troops in the path of attack. Nazi Germany was equally prepared. 410,000 troops, 1,400 tanks, 2,600 artillery pieces. The stakes could not be higher. A defeat here would be catastrophic for either side. General Eisenhower studied the situation carefully. Every decision now could mean victory or disaster. Adolf Hitler was confident. The plan was set. There was no turning back. The men on both sides knew that many of them would not survive what was coming. The Allies thought the Ardennes was a quiet sector. Green divisions and exhausted veterans were sent there to rest. Hitler planned one final offensive. Punch through the Ardennes, capture Antwerp, and split the Allied armies. It was 1940 all over again. On December 16, 410,000 German troops attacked along an 80-mile front. Fog grounded Allied aircraft. The surprise was total. German commandos in American uniforms sowed confusion behind the lines. They switched road signs and spread panic. At the Losheim Gap, the German advance was swift. Some American units broke and ran. Others stood and fought. At Elsenborn Ridge, the 2nd and 99th Infantry Divisions held against overwhelming odds. Their stand prevented the northern shoulder from collapsing. At Bastogne, the 101st Airborne was surrounded. The Germans demanded surrender. General McAuliffe replied with one word: nuts. The 101st held Bastogne for a week without resupply. Airdrops brought some ammunition but not enough. They fought with whatever they had. At Malmedy, SS troops murdered 84 American prisoners of war in a field. When word spread, American soldiers stopped taking SS prisoners. The weather cleared on December 23. Allied aircraft filled the sky and destroyed German armor in the open. Patton's Third Army turned 90 degrees and drove north through a blizzard to relieve Bastogne. A logistical miracle. On December 26, the 4th Armored Division broke through to Bastogne. The siege was over. In the Ardennes, fuel was everything. German panzers ran dry. Paper's SS battle group was stopped at Stavelot because they ran out of fuel. By January, the Bulge was being squeezed from both sides. Hitler refused to allow retreat until it was almost too late. The Battle of the Bulge cost Germany 100,000 casualties and 800 tanks it could never replace. The road to Berlin was open. Germany's last offensive created a bulge 50 miles deep but was crushed within 6 weeks. It cost Germany 100,000 irreplaceable casualties and 800 tanks. The cost was enormous. Allied forces, US, UK, Belgium, lost 89,000 casualties including 19,000 killed. Nazi Germany suffered even more. 100,000 casualties including 12,000 killed, 800 tanks lost. When the news reached the capitals, the world understood that the war had changed. For the soldiers who survived, this battle would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The commanders on both sides would be judged by history for their decisions here. Military historians would later analyze every move, every decision, every mistake. But for those who were there, no analysis could capture what they went through. The Battle of the Bulge was Hitler's last gamble. Its failure exhausted Germany's last reserves and accelerated the end of the war in Europe. The lessons of this battle would influence military strategy for generations to come. Today, memorials stand where the fighting took place. A reminder of what happened here. Books, documentaries, and films have told this story. But nothing compares to the reality. This was the Battle of the Bulge. Germany's last offensive created a bulge 50 miles deep but was crushed within 6 weeks. And the world was never the same. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shaped the world we live in today.